let's just dive straight into this. We've all been there, right? You spend hours, maybe even days or weeks, pouring your absolute heart and soul into creating this incredible piece of content. You finally hit publish, you eagerly check your analytics, and nothing. Crickets. It gets buried with a handful of views, and it feels like your work is practically invisible. It's incredibly frustrating, to say the least. Well, today, we're going to fix exactly that. Consider the massive contrast here. On one side, we've got a completely random upload. The creator essentially just guessed what they thought people wanted to watch. And the results? A totally dismal 18 views in 48 hours. Ouch. But on the flip side, think about a piece of content uploaded using proper, strategic keyword research. That single upload pulled in over 200,000 views, fueled massive subscriber growth, and casually raked in $12,000 in ad revenue. So that whole myth that good content will just magically find an audience? Yeah, it's exactly that, a myth. Relying purely on the homepage algorithm to save you is honestly a losing game, especially when you're growing a smaller channel. So welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down a highly effective, totally data-backed blueprint designed to essentially outsmart the algorithm. And this comes straight from a creator who literally used this exact method to generate over 200 million views and build 4 separate channels to over 100,000 subscribers each. It's called the F.A.R. strategy, and we're about to get deep into the weeds with it. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the YouTube SEO myth. Then we move to F for finding winning keywords, A for analyzing your competition, and R for ranking your video. Finally, we'll wrap up with the viewer avatar strategy. Section 1. The YouTube SEO myth. Let's talk about why outdated advice is actually hurting you right now. Okay, so you've almost certainly heard some guru out there tell you to use, 7 magical tags, or maybe to change your raw video file name on your computer before uploading to somehow trick the system. And honestly, deep down, you probably kind of knew that sounded a bit like snake oil, right? Well, your instincts were spot on. The truth is, spamming tags in your description isn't just wildly outdated, it's actually strictly against the platform's guidelines. The algorithm has evolved so rapidly over the last few years, and relying on these cheap, old-school tricks, it just doesn't work anymore, period. Moving on to Section 2. F. Finding winning keywords. It's time to stop guessing and start actually finding what works. So let's get on the same page about what true keyword research actually is. It's really just the simple process of finding exactly what people are physically typing into that search bar, and then figuring out if you can realistically rank for that specific phrase. You have to remember, the platform's ultimate goal is to keep people watching to show them ads, right? So those search bar predictions that drop down, they aren't just random guesses. They are ordered by pure search volume. That top suggestion is quite literally the algorithm handing you the answers, telling you exactly what millions of users are begging to see. Let's walk through how you can extract all this juicy data manually. It's called the alphabet method. First, you just type a broad-based keyword, like how to, right into the search bar. Next, you just type the letter A after it and write down all those highly specific predictions that instantly pop up. Then you delete A, type B, and write those down. You just repeat this process for the entire alphabet. I know it sounds tedious, but this totally simple manual trick uncovers these incredibly detailed, extremely low competition, long-tail phrases that your target audience is actively hunting for right now. Now look, if you want to save hours of typing out the whole alphabet, the source material does point out that tools like vidIQ can pull these exact search results instantly. But, and this is a big but, you have to use it strategically. There are basically 3 types of search terms you need to understand. First up, you have umbrella terms. These are your super broad main keywords, like social media. Then you have matching terms. These are specific phrases that physically contain your umbrella term inside them, like social media marketing. And finally, related keywords. These cover similar topics, but might not use those exact words at all. The real secret sauce here? Start broad with your umbrella term, and then drill way down into those matching terms. That is where you strike absolute gold. All right, Section 3, A, analyzing your competition. Because the real question is, can you actually rank for this stuff? Listen closely to this part, because this is exactly where, 97% of creators go horribly, horribly wrong. They'll find some keyword that has millions of views, their eyes light up, and they immediately rush to make a piece of content about it, completely ignoring the historical data. Consider the difference between a good and a bad keyword. A winning keyword shows steady, consistent views per hour, growing in a nice linear line over months or even years. It means people are actively searching for it every single day. But a bad keyword? It shows a massive, sudden initial spike, followed by a total flatline. That spike didn't come from search traffic. It was literally just that specific channel's existing subscribers clicking the notification bell. If you try to target that keyword today, you're essentially launching your content into an absolute ghost town. When you're scoping out those top-ranking pieces of content, the golden metric you need to look at is their current views per hour. And you might assume you need thousands to be successful, right? Well, listen to this number. 5 views per hour. Just 5. If you're running a brand new channel and you manage to systematically rank 30 pieces of content that each get just 5 views an hour, that adds up to 3,600 views every single day. And you know what that translates to? Steady, reliable, daily subscriber growth. At that pace, you could easily hit your first 1,000 superfans in less than 2 months. Consistent, targeted traffic compounds incredibly fast. So how on earth does a tiny channel actually compete with the massive industry giants? Get this. A channel named Yuri, sitting at just 3.8 thousand subscribers, is currently ranking at the absolute #1 spot for a highly competitive term. He's literally beating Gary V, a titan with 4 million subscribers. How is that even mathematically possible? Because Yuri used the exact keyword match in his title, letter for letter. Gary V only used a partial match. You see, the algorithm just wants to serve up the absolute most relevant result to the viewer. So the exact match wins the top spot, almost regardless of how big or small the channel is. That's a huge advantage for the little guy. Which brings us to section 4, R, ranking your video. Let's break down the SEO optimization formula. To actually guarantee that exact match advantage we just talked about, you've got to use this specific title formula every single time. It's your exact keyword placed at the very front of the title, followed immediately by a compelling hook or a clear benefit. For instance, social media marketing using AI, full tutorial for beginners. By putting the exact search phrase first, you're practically screaming 100% relevance to the algorithm, and you instantly prove to the viewer scrolling by that you have precisely what they just searched for. But you can't stop at the title. You have to optimize the rest of your metadata too. And the rules here are pretty strict. First, you have to place that exact keyword in the very first sentence of your description. Why? So it clearly shows up in those desktop search previews. Second, integrate your related keywords naturally. Please do not just copy and paste a giant list of words. Write them into readable, genuinely helpful sentences. Third, your thumbnail visually has to confirm the exact promise you made in your title. It's a package deal. And finally, seriously, stop stressing over tags. The platform itself explicitly states that tags play a totally minimal role in discovery nowadays. Take all that wasted creative energy and pour it into writing a better title and description instead. All right, section 5, the viewer avatar strategy. This is the ultimate long-term play. I want you to really consider this scenario for a second. What happens if you actually succeed, but you rank for the wrong keyword? Imagine you somehow rank #1 for this totally random topic that has nothing to do with your main niche. Sure, you get a quick hit with dopamine, thousands of views, and a bunch of new subscribers. Amazing, right? But then, next week, you upload your core content and crickets. Nobody watches. Your notifications are completely ignored. Why did this happen? Because you attracted a completely untargeted audience who literally only cared about that one random topic. And when they inevitably ignore your new content, it sends a terrible signal to the algorithm that your content is bad, which can completely kill your channel's momentum dead in its tracks. To avoid making that absolutely channel-killing mistake, you have to implement what's called the viewer avatar strategy. All this really means is making absolutely sure that every single keyword you ever target attracts highly specific viewers who share a common overarching interest. You're not just out here blindly chasing random views. You are meticulously building a real community. You want to attract the kind of people who are going to become consistent, long-term fans of all your future uploads, not just some one-time visitors passing through the neighborhood. So, as we wrap this up, remember that true, lasting success here isn't about just getting lucky with one viral hit. It's about systematically following a proven, structured system. You now have the full F.A.R. blueprint right in your hands. You know how to find winning keywords that real people actually search for. You know how to analyze the competition to guarantee you can actually win. And you know how to rank your highly relevant content to build a targeted, long-term audience. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on today. What keyword will you dominate next? Take this exact strategy, apply it to the very next piece of content you make, and stop leaving all your incredibly hard work up to chance. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy creating.